What's up, y'all? So this is the actual Vanquish soul profile this time, not some random video of me playing ranked that I accidentally uploaded instead, like I did with the last one. The actual deck profile. So here we get into it. Uh, one, Kurkara Divancarte. Can't be normal summon or set. You have to tribute it from your hand by tributing all face-up monsters on the field that activated their effects this turn in your opponent's monster zone. So your opponent's monsters activate their effects during that turn. You contribute them. This is really great. It's kind of like a kaiju on wheels with extra attack. When it's summoned, it gets 1,500 attack for each monster is tributed. And the better part of it is during the end phase, you can target a monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your field. You can only use the effect of Karkuri Div Incarnate once per turn. Card's great. 3 Maxi. Maxi is busted, and you should be running 3. More cards is betterer. 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Stopping your opponent's Maxi, or stopping your opponent's Pot of Extravagance, or stopping your opponent's Bannerer, or whatever. This card just has a lot of utility, and it's worth it. Speaking of Kashtira, we have Kashtira Rise Heart. We're running this basically because it's a searchable fire warrior monster. That's it. We rarely ever actually use this. Next, we're running 3 Vanquish Soul Razin, or Raisin, as I like to call him. When he's normal or specialed, you can add 1 non-warrior Vanquish Soul monster from your deck to your hand, and then you have a quick effect, and you can only use his add effect and one of these quick effects once per turn. You cannot use both the quick effects in one turn, and you can't activate more than one in the same chain. That is the case for all of the Vanquish Souls with the 2 effects. You can only use one of those quick effects per turn, and only one in that chain. So there we go. Razin lets you add a card, a Vanquish Soul monster from your deck to your hand. But the really cool effect is if you reveal to your opponent a dark and a fire monster in your hand, you can destroy all of their monsters in this card's column, which means anything in the main monster zone or anything in one of the link zones and behind it. So pretty good, and the fact that it's a quick effect is really useful. The fact that you can cycle these guys out from your hand makes that effect even more useful. Fire is this card cannot be destroyed by card effects this turn. Most of the time, you're only going to activate that if you want to reveal this card to your opponent, and we'll get into why in a little bit. So yeah, 3 Vanquish Soul Raisin. 1 Vanquish Soul Pantera. This card is eh. I do like it because it can special summon it. I actually thought about running a second one just for that reason. If you control no monsters in your main monster zone, you can special summon this card from your hand, and then you have the quick effect. You can activate one of these 2 effects. If you reveal an earth monster to your opponent, this card can't be destroyed by battle this turn. If you reveal an earth and fire monster in your hand, you can destroy all spells and traps in this card's column. And quick side note, because all these effects involve revealing cards, it makes hand traps pretty useful because this is now not just Maxi, but it's also an Earth. So if I have 2 Maxi on opening and I use one of them, I have one in my hand, it's not dead until the next turn. I can always reveal it for an Earth monster. So it's really nice having that option. Not to mention, Divancarte is fire, and your 2 Bystials that you're running as hand traps are dark. So yeah, it's pretty useful. But moving on to our next Vanquish Soul, we have Mad Love. When it's normal or special summoned, you can add a Vanquish Soul spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Some people are running this card at 3. I really don't think you should run more than 2. Some people even get away with running 1. So it also has the reveal effect. You can show your opponent with 1 dark monster in your hand, and that allows you to make 1 face-up monster on the field your opponent controls lose 500 attack and defense. It does not target. If you reveal 1 dark, 1 earth, you return 1 monster on the field with the lowest defense to the hand, your choice of Tide, which is really sweet. Some stuff is 0 defense. But this is a really fun card. Definitely don't think you need 3 of it. Next we have 2 Vanquish Soul Jialong, or Xiaolong. You can reveal a card in your hand. Sorry, if you reveal a card in your hand to activate the effect of a Vanquish Soul monster, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. Quick effect. It has the you can activate one of these per turn. So fire, if you reveal a single fire, you can change the battle position of one monster on the field. 2 fire, you can add a Vanquish Soul from your deck to your hand except himself. You can only use each effect of him once per turn and cannot activate more than one in the same chain. And next we have 1 Bysteel Magma Hut, 1 Bysteel Drew Swarm, 1 Raiden the Multidimensional Kaiju. This Kaiju should be the attribute that you need the most. Like if you're finding you're missing enough fire in your build, or you find if you're missing, like if you don't have enough earth, you run a fire kaiju or an earth kaiju. I'm running dark because I always need dark. Next we have 2 Kashtira Fenrir. This card is earth. That's one of the reasons to play it. The other reason is it's disruptive, and the third reason is it can search a fire attribute to your hand. The other thing I would say about this is some people are running... Where is it? Some people are running Contact C, I believe. Yeah, some people are running Contact C instead of this. This is also a good card to run. So, also decent. You can run that instead of Fenrir if you don't want to run Fenrir. Next we have 3 Vanquish Soul Heavy Borger. Some people choose to run 2 of this. I like it at 3 personally. It's during the main phase. You can target a non-machine Vanquish Soul you control, return it to the hand, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand. And then it has a quick effect. You can either reveal 1 dark monster to draw a card, or 1 earth and fire monster to inflict 1500 to your opponent, which is awesome. And then finally, we have the big guy, Vanquish Soul Caesar Valius. Some people run 2 of him. In fact, most people do. I am running 1 because I found 2 to brick, and the worst that happens to it is it gets removed from play, and you have to use other cards to spot remove. During the main phase, quick effect, you can target a non-dragon Vanquish Soul monster you control, return it to the hand, special summon this card from your hand, and then it has the quick effect of if you show your opponent an earth, it can't be, sorry, not can't be destroyed, it's unaffected, just completely unaffected by your opponent's activated effects this turn. But if you show an earth, fire, and dark, you can destroy 1 other card on the field. You can only use each effect to Vanquish Soul Caesar once per turn, can activate more than once per chain. Next we have Reinforcement of the Army. It lets you search a level 4 or lower warrior monster from your deck to your hand. You're pretty much always going to search Raisin with it. 1 Pot of Extravagance, because your extra deck isn't super important. As long as you have 1 of your rocks, you're fine. 3 Small World. This is probably one of the best cards in the entire deck. Basic gist of Small World is you can reveal a monster in your hand. Choose a monster from your deck that has the same type, attribute, level, attack, or defense. In my case, I do attributes. So I'll reveal fire if I want to fire, and then you reveal a monster in your deck that has exactly one of the same attributes, type, level, attack, and defense. And then after you've done that, you can add from your deck to your hand 1 monster that has exactly one of the same attribute, level, attack, defense as the chosen monster from your deck. So basically, I show you a fire, then I show you another fire in my deck, and then I can add a fire. Or you can substitute fire with earth. One of the really fun things is you can actually search Ash Blossom with this if you really need it. Oh yeah, you can also search Mech C with this, which is really funny. But yeah, Small World, good card. Definitely want 3 copies. Free Stake Your Soul, reveal a monster in your hand, special summon a Vanquish Soul monster with the same attribute and a different name. Return it to your hand during the end phase. You only activate 1 Stake Your Soul per turn. This is great because if I brick all hand traps, I can reveal my Maxi or reveal an Ash Blossom, which is the play I normally use because I want to summon Razin. Reveal an Ash Blossom, summon Razin, Razin effect, unclog your hand. The next we have Infernal Infernal Arms Drundle. So when it's equipped to a monster, you can add a level 5 or lower fire warrior monster from your deck to your hand. You're going to add Razin. Then destroy this card if it's sent to the graveyard because the equipped monster is sent to the grave. Target a level 4 or lower fire warrior monster in your graveyard. Special summon it. and you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except warrior monsters. You can only use one Inferno Durandal effect per turn. You're pretty much never going to use the second one. Then we have Vanquish Soul Dust Devil. Let you target Vanquish Soul monsters you control, change its battle position. Then you can change face up monsters your opponent controls to face down defense position, up to the number of Vanquish Soul monsters you control with different names. You can only activate one Vanquish Soul Dust Devil per turn. It's like a multi-Book of Moon. It's great. Next, we got Vanquish Soul Continue. Pay 500. Target a Vanquish Soul monster in your graveyard. Add it to your hand or special summon it in defense. You can only activate one Vanquish Soul Continue once per turn. And then finally, we have Vanquish Soul Snow Devil. I'm actually thinking about running a second copy. Reveal one of each dark, earth, and fire monster in your hand, then apply the following effects in sequence based off the number revealed. 1 is inflict 400 to your opponent, then you can special summon a Vanquish Soul from your hand. 2 is inflict 600 to your opponent, and then Vanquish Soul monsters cannot be destroyed by card effects. And then 3 is inflict 800 damage to your opponent, then destroy all monsters on the field, which won't hit your Vanquish Soul monsters because of number 2. You can only activate one Vanquish Soul Snow Devil per turn. And then 2, there can be one only. Because there can be one only is such a good card against most other decks, you definitely want to play it. Because when you think about it, you don't have to worry about attributes too much because you can always cycle out. So, this deck is amazing. And this card is amazing in this deck. So, extra deck, 1 Baron to floor. Sometimes you special Defender, summon the Ash, go into Baron. 1 Abyss Dweller, tier is still a thing. 1 Evil Swarm Extinction Knight. This card is one of your comeback mechanics for the deck because it's very easy to get 2 level 4s on the field. If you're not familiar with it, what this does is once per chain during your main phase or your opponent's battle phase, if your opponent has more cards total in their field and hand than you do, you can detach 1 and you destroy all other cards on the field. And that is for both fields, by the way. And your opponent takes no further damage this turn. That includes burn damage. Sometimes this is the comeback card you need. 1 number 41, the Tired Tapir. He's just decent. 1 Big Eye, because sometimes you actually use the Warrior Kashtira and take your opponent's monsters. 1 Red Eyes Meadow Flare Dragon, because sometimes the burn damage can be lethal. 1 Zeus, because you're running 4 or 5. I can math. I swear I can math. 5 Exceed monsters besides Zeus, so you might as well. You're probably going to detach on those. 3 Rock of the Vanquisher. This card is nutty. I absolutely love it. It's 1 Vanquish Soul monster. You cannot use it as link material, period. While you control a Vanquish Soul monster, your opponent's monsters can only target monsters you control with the highest attack. So if you have Big Chungus over here out, they gotta attack him. Their choice if it's tied. For attacks during the main phase, Quick effect, you can activate 1 of these effects, and you can only use 1 of the quick effects per turn. It's a hard once per turn. You can special summon a Vanquish Soul from your hand, or you can add a Vanquish Soul monster from your graveyard to your hand, and you can use this effect on your opponent's turn. Awesome. 1 Security Dragon. Once one face on the field, if it's co-link, target 1 monster your opponent controls, return it to the hand. You can only use the effect Security Dragon once per turn. This is easy to co-link because Vanquisher points down and it points up. Being a co-linking, when you use Nightmare Phoenix, which is our next card in the extra deck, when you discard the card for its effect, it'll often be co-linked with Vanquisher. So that is really useful because you can actually draw a card. You go neutral instead of negative. Same with Unicorn, then the 1 Access, and the 1 Underworld Goddess, because sometimes you have to link your opponent's big pearly cat away. But yeah, that's it for the deck profile. For everyone on YouTube, I'm sorry there are no replays, but I'm going to upload the stream that I'm recording right now on Twitch TV/SirLarge Gaming of me playing Vanquish Soul, so you will be able to see kind of how this deck functions. So I'll see all my YouTube people then. Bye-bye, YouTube people.